It's definitely a collaborative effort.
It's a collective energy.
Meeting lots of other like-minded souls, different people from different backgrounds.
Everyone on this programme has incredible experience.
The Climate Policy Creative Fellowship is a way of putting together a kind of superhero band of creative storytellers from all different disciplines to harness their powers to save the world.
What the fellowship is aiming to do is to use the skills of creative storytellers to bridge the gap between what the scientists are communicating about the risks of climate change and the type of information that policymakers need to make better decisions.
This fellowship came about because I kept facing a problem when it came to my work on climate change policy. People said we should only tell either very positive stories to motivate people or very negative ones to motivate them in another way. When actually, if you look at the world around us, we've got shades of all of those things. We've got shades of dystopia and we've got shades of utopia. What we're trying to do here is to develop stories that we could describe as actually being through-topias, the ones that will navigate shades of dystopia on a journey that hopefully gets us closer to the shades of utopia that I absolutely think that we can achieve.
For most work in the art climate space, the audience is the general public. With the fellowship, we were interested in something different. We were interested in policymakers as our audience. What are the stories that those people need to enable them to do their jobs with more agency and genuinely be more effective?
We're really thinking about who needs help finding their potential role in solving climate change and how can we meet them where they're at and how can we use the power of storytelling to help them unlock that journey for themselves. I don't think I know of another programme that's taking that angle on it.
One of the big kind of values of doing a project like this is that you get specific time, really focused, dedicated moment with interesting people to have extended conversations.
I've learnt so much about neuroscience and the way people make decisions, which feels really important to storytelling work because it's about why are you telling the story, what effect are you trying to have, and learning that neuroscience behind how people make decisions really changes the way that you can tell the story.
Actions drive beliefs. The things you do change the understanding that you have. In order for us to be able to deal with a situation, we need to have action possibilities in our head. We need to know what it is that we can do to tackle that problem. Seeing someone do something helps you to understand what you can do in your situation.
Just getting started and doing things builds more positive action, and it's not the way I'd ever really thought about it before. I tended to be overwhelmed by the scale of a project and get frozen and think, well, I'm just one person, I can't do anything. So it has actually been really useful to realise even the smallest little thing could lead to more things. As much as that does sound like a cliche, has been quite empowering.
Fellowships like this, working with other fellows and working with other people who can really sort of challenge you for other ways of thinking, other bodies of knowledge, is excellent for really pushing that bubble out.
I think the thing that surprised me most on the fellowship is the sheer amount of information that the fellows have been able to absorb. You know, we've exposed them to neuroscience insights, we've had them meet policymakers, they've done all sorts of reading around the subject, and they've managed to synthesize all of that into these incredible creative outputs.
I have learned so much. It's really helped me think differently about ways to not just try to persuade people, but to actually understand what motivates them.
I think the fellowship is going to help me to have the tools to go into a new phase of my work and also a new direction in terms of working more on action-based stories and working more on solutions-focused stories.
I've kind of always innately understood a lot of the reasons that the stories that we tell work and the ones that don't work. But through all of the insights that we've had, I've understood more of the why they work, and it's given me a new lens to look at my stories through.
It's been a sort of really free and open and creative space that has been created through sort of the academic presence of UCL, but then also the creative presence of Fast Familiar.
We are in the grips of a climate crisis. We need stories that are honest about how that, unfortunately, is going to get worse. But that doesn't mean it's game over. It just means we need stories that motivate us to navigate those worsening conditions on the journey to getting to a better world in the future.